Divorce ends a marriage, but for many fathers, it also ends access to their own children. But why? Today, I uncover the emotional, legal, and systemic reasons behind mothers blocking access, with real examples from Do2dtun and Nollywood star Bolanle Ninalowo. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Wemimo and I'm also known as Tatumor5 and also known as TM5 Kanduko. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always being here. So here is a huge welcome to a new episode on my channel, which I call the Human Experience segment. Yes, so today's conversation is raw, emotional, and absolutely necessary. I am asking a difficult question. Why do some women restrict the father of their children from having access after divorce? Okay, this isn't about attacking mothers or defending fathers blindly. It's about understanding a pattern that affects millions of families, emotionally, psychologically, and legally. And in order to bring this topic to life, I will look at two public stories many people already know. Yeah, you guys already know. You know Ninalowo and Do2dtun, right? So Do2dtun, that's the stage name, the media personality fighting a legal and emotional battle just to see his two daughters. Bolanle Ninalowo, the Nollywood actor whose marriage and co-parenting journey reflects a different but equally complex side of fatherhood after separation. Through these stories, I will explore the fears, the anger, the legal failures, the power dynamics, and the deep wounds that lead to blocked access. Because if we don't talk about it, we can't fix it, right? So let's begin. Now, it's not just men online talking. These are real lives, okay? These are real lives of things that actually happen to men that you and I know about. So before I get into the psychology and the social structures behind restricted access, let's ground this in real life experiences. Case number one is this. Do2dtun, you all know Do2dtun, right? The ex-in-law of the Banj. Nigerian OAP Do2dtun has spent years talking publicly about his struggles to gain access to his own children after marital separation, in fact, divorce. He has used interviews, social media, and legal channels to express frustration about how slow the system moves and how emotionally draining the process has been for him. He alleges that despite court orders for shared custody, he has still faced several and severe barriers to seeing his kids. He also claims interference from his ex-wife's family has actually made things even harder. And he recently made a long post where he has called out the Nigerian embassy for enabling the people who are preventing him from seeing his daughters. He claimed they are biased, and for 3 good years, they have succeeded in destroying his family the more. So here are the messages from the slide he posted. I'm going to read those. So case number 2 is Bolanle Ninalowo. Ninalowo's story is different but related. After years of marital issues, a separation, a reconciliation, and finally a complete split in 2023, he has been open about focusing on his children and ensuring they feel loved and supported. While he hasn't accused his ex-wife of restricting access, his story shows another truth. Yeah, even when both parents try to be civil, separation still reshapes fatherhood, often reducing a father's time, access, and influence. Ninalowo dropped this message to support Do2dtun, and I read, "You may not have easy access to America or where your kids are, but I promise you that your fight will never go in vain." That's Ninalowo supporting Do2dtun. "No loving and present parents' pain and labor shall go in vain in Jesus' mighty name. This was a convo with my son in 2024 while making the decision to put all I had built and achieved in Nigeria on hold to come back to America and fight for my children no matter the cost." So Ninalowo shared his video slide of his chat he had with his son. "They see or will see your fight at God's appointed time, brother. Never stop." Ninalowo continued, "My son helped me get through it all because he always reminded me that he saw me. Now my daughter is also in a safe place and my greatest weakness has become my greatest strength. The world they know. They don't know half of it, but the world doesn't matter. Just noise and distractions. Only my truth, my journey, and my God matters to me. May God give you the grace and wisdom to conquer. I hope this message inspires you at Do2dtun and whoever needs it. Love and light." So that was a message that Ninalowo, shared in support for Do2dtun, and this message was followed by a video chat of how Ninalowo has been keeping in touch with his son and daughter. So let's read that message that followed the video. He shared the video and then he captioned it, and this is the message which he shared to the public. "Any parent who alienates children from the other parent for any reason other than that parent posing a direct harm to the child simply hates the other parent more than they loved their own children. They hate you more than they loved their own children simply means they equally hate their own children." So that's what Ninalowo is telling us. Alienating a child from the other parent is your biggest show of hate for your child and not the parent you intend to make suffer. Your action to inflict pain on the other parent by withholding the love that the child equally needs from the alienated parent is the highest show of hate for your child. And then the video chat which is shared, and I'm going to leave it here for you guys to watch it. So now, both men in different ways illustrate how divorce changes fatherhood. Not because the men stop loving their children, but because the system, emotions, and circumstances reshape everything. These details I'm talking about are based on his public statement, and according to him, the courts are still handling the matter because he's still not been able to assess his children. Like, guys, let me know what your thoughts and opinion are in the comment section. So now let's talk about the reasons why women restrict fathers. Emotional pain that bleeds into parenting. Now, let's be honest. When a relationship ends, especially with betrayal, disrespect, or deep hurt, the emotional tension doesn't magically disappear. In some cases, like Do2dtun's, the marital conflict spills into co-parenting. Pain becomes suspicion. Anger becomes control. The desire for justice becomes the desire to withhold access. Even Bolanle Ninalowo admitted in interviews that earlier in his marriage, he made serious mistakes, and I'm going to put that video somewhere here for you to watch. And that
so I needed to take time back to see what I had done to her. The years when I was feeling like I was still young and cheating all day, breaking her heart and everything, to the years where, okay, I wasn't there and just pursuing my dreams. But I forgot that this was a human being that was taking records.
Yeah.
And taking experiences of her life as well. So I became somebody that she didn't recognize anymore at some point, and I couldn't even call her to pick up the phone. And the same woman I had so much control over, I had no control over anymore because she outgrew me. You know what I mean? So to get that restored and to achieve that back, I needed to go back and start afresh. Detox and clear everything that I have done and seen. And you know, it's a process, man.
Yeah.
It's a process. And a lot of people keep failing because they keep jumping from one thing to another. You need to take time, sit back and see why you got it wrong. Leave that thing. Take the pain. A lot of people don't want to start because they don't want to be seen starting from the bottom. Go back to the bottom. That's what happened to me. I had to go back to start there. And from there I started to see, I made a lot of mistakes, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
When I first came,
that emotional wounds don't heal overnight. So at times, if you hurt your wife and you think just because you say sorry at that moment is going to make her forget, you are in for a long ride. Okay? Reason number 2. Fear sometimes, is real and sometimes projected. And you ask me why. Keep listening. Fear is a major driver. 1, fear that the father will influence the child negatively. 2, fear of new partners. Fear of losing control. Fear that the child will prefer the father to the mother. Fear of repeating old relationship trauma. So guys, what do you think about these fears? In Do2dun's situation, his ex-wife raised serious allegations during their divorce process as written by Punch newspaper, and I'm going to put a screenshot here. She alleged forced abortion, domestic violence, and emotional abuse, which Do2dun denied. But the tension created fear, distrust, and legal battles. Even if the court settles the matter, the emotional impact is going to linger on. For how long, I don't know. Fear, justified or not, often shapes access. Guys, leave your thoughts as always. Reason number 3, using children as leverage. Why do either parents do that? Now, let's address the uncomfortable truth, and I'm sure you all agree with me that it's very, very uncomfortable, right? Some parents use children as weapons. This isn't gender specific, but in societies where mothers traditionally get custody by default, fathers often end up on the losing side. In Do2dun's case, he has repeatedly stated that he is fighting not just a person, but a system he believes allows one parent to limit access too easily. Even Ninalowo's reflections show how important it is for fathers to be present, and how divorce can make that presence very, very fragile. Where systems are weak, emotions can turn children into bargaining chips, and trust me, a certain gender actually knows how to do that well. Reason number 4, legal reasons that fail fathers. Yes, there are legal reasons that fail fathers, and I'm sure that the freezer even has mentioned his own experience even when he was trying to get a divorce. The courts are supposed to protect families, right? But many fathers believe they don't. You hear it in Do2dun's word every time he speaks publicly. Yes, if you go to Do2dun's page, you see every time he speaks. It takes years to get justice. Delayed hearings, slow enforcement of custody orders, and societal bias create a situation where mothers are seen as the default custodial parents. Fathers must prove that they deserve access. Court orders are sometimes ignored without consequences. And then fathers are even told, be patient, even when years and years passed. When the system is slow, emotional decisions become permanent realities, especially in a country like Nigeria. And then the next reason why, fathers are not giving limited restriction is that family interferences. Sometimes the issue isn't even between the parents. It's not even between the parents. Extended family can actually pour petrol on top of that fire that is already burning. Do2dun has publicly stated that his former in-laws made his situation even more difficult, namely allegedly debange as instrument of discord in the custody battle with his ex-wife. Whether or not everyone agrees, it highlights a reality. family influence can turn a breakup into a war. In many cultures, once a woman moves back to her family home, the father is treated as an outsider, regardless of his relationship with his kids. And another reason which I found is that new relationships and jealousy could cause the other party to restrict fathers. New partners complicate everything. One, a mother may not trust the father's new girlfriend or new partner. A father may not trust the mother's new relationship. Like I said, this story kind of like swings in both ways, right? Each household now has new emotional stakeholders. So fathers like Bolanle Ninalowo, who choose to remain deeply involved in their kids' life, often do so to prevent emotional disconnection. And I'm sure you agree with me, especially when new partners may enter the picture. I am not saying Ninalowo is in the relationship. I am just, putting this across. Post-divorce parenting isn't just about the two parents. It grows into a village of competing interests. Now, the child here is a real victim. Here is a part we often ignore all the time. An example of that is Sophia Momodu and Davido. Children suffer the most. Research consistently shows that when a child is cut off from a loving, responsible father, the consequences can be very, very lifelong. It can be lifelong. Whether it's a conflict seen in Do2dun's experience or the emotional disruption in Ninalowo's situation, the child is the one who absorbs the tension, the distance, the confusion, the loyalty battles, the emotional gaps. Parents fight, but who pays? The children. The children pays for the fight of two adults. Now, what can we learn from these two stories and all of the side ones I've mentioned? What can we learn? What do these two men teach us? From Do2dtun, 1, the legal system needs reform. Do you agree to that? 2, custody battles should not take years. 3, shared parenting must be respected. And from Ninalowo's experience, even without conflict, divorce challenges fatherhood. Fathers must remain intentionally present. 3, healing requires honesty, accountability, and growth. Together, these stories remind us that divorce ends the relationship, but parenting must continue. Children actually deserve both parents. Parents who are doing due diligence, okay? Not perfect parents, but the present ones. Those who are showing that, yes, I want to be in the life of this child. Let me know what your thoughts and opinion are in regards to all of these things. But with that being said, thank you for joining me on this powerful episode of the Human Experience segment. The stories of men like Do2dtun and Bolanle Ninalowo reminds us of one truth. Divorce doesn't end parenting. It only changes the battlefield. And in that battlefield, the child should never, ever be the casualty. So, if today's conversation touched you, don't hesitate to share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Like, comment, subscribe, join my membership, and remember, healing is a choice. Cooperation is also a choice, but the well-being of a child is a responsibility. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until next time, stay honest, stay open, and stay human. All right? Thank you. Bye.